Okay, so this is the preamble to my video on how to fix the fill the tank and then press clean error on the Braava M6, which is basically an unpleasant error. My unit got to the point where basically it's going to ask me 15 times while I sit there and shake it and smack it and do all kinds of stuff to try and put a tank in, and every single time it was saying fill the tank and then press clean. So I don't like putting a full tank in it, because if I want to leave it sit overnight or I want to just run a quick job in a quarter of a tank, I don't, particularly with the problems you'll see later in this video, which is the seals internally were just not the best. I don't know if this is an early unit or what, but water really got inside this unit. I had to dry it out for about a week. After I did the wiring harness modification that you're about to see, I actually had to let it dry out for about 3 or 4 days because it would go a bit crazy. And later in the video you'll see me saying electrical tape on the wires and then put them by the speaker. Well, there was something close to that speaker at the front underneath the clean button that was messing with the wheel sensor. So when it was wet and just after I put it together from the other video, or from later in this video, it wouldn't come off the dock. It would come off and then stutter and freak out and say, you know, undocking problem, fix me. So I took it apart again, dried it all out, and then kind of carefully took that wire harness that I've got later in this video with the electrical tape and made sure that I wasn't near any sensors or wheels or speakers or anything else, and put it back together. I only put about half the screws in it. That's all it needs. Anyways, long story short, here is a third tank. I will show you that this procedure actually works without me having to smash the unit into 1,000 pieces, which has come pretty close to happening about 16 different times. Anyways, crippled tank in there, press the clean button. I'll prove to you that it's not saying fill the tank and then press clean. There you go. So again, when it was wet and just after I had stashed those wires in there, it was not doing any of this. It would come off and then freak out and then just shut down. I've run it successfully, I would say 3 or 4 times since then, with no error messages related to water or lid or navigation or anything like that. So what I wanted to make sure of is that I gave you sort of a preamble of this working. So this is the fixed unit. I wish I could give you a video of me almost killing the old unit, but no, that's unnecessary. So the one point that I wanted to make is, obviously if you fast forward about 15 seconds here or 20 seconds, you're going to see fairly destructive things happening to the M6 internally. Note, this will void your warranty. Do not do this if you are unsure. Do not do this if you wish warranty to be left on your unit. And don't be emailing me and don't be suing me for breaking your unit or bricking it or whatever you're about to do to it. This is just kind of best effort. It was either fix this wiring harness or throw this unit in the garbage, quite frankly, because iRobot support just wasn't going to help me very much at all. Anyways, that's it. Check out the rest of the video. My apologies for the absolutely vomit-inducing camera work in about 4.5 minutes here. Bear with it. I break the video and then add another one that was significantly more stable with some of my testing. So if you want to fix your dreaded fill the tank and then press clean, you're in the right place. This will fix it permanently. Have a good one. Okay, so this video is about the Braava M6 and the fill the tank error that everyone seems to get, and no one can tell us anyone how to fix it other than filling the tank with warm water and shaking it, which doesn't work at all. But they tell you to do that, then they send you a replacement tank apparently, and nothing works. So first step here was actually to follow another video, which was to undo all of these screws. So you'll see there's some screws here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. This is where you take the battery out. I've got the battery in for display purposes here. Here's the problem. In order to get to that, which is the inside of it removed, you need to take these screws out from this plate, because there's 2 screws that go into these 2 holes that you can't get at unless this plate is off. Due to a fundamental design flaw of the Braava M6, every single screw, as you will note, basically having anything to do with the water area, is completely corroded out at this point. There's no heads. You cannot take these screws out. You might be able to tap and die them or do something fancy, but I don't have the patience for that. So what we did was I took a drill bit and drilled 2 screw holes right here underneath where the pad goes, and those are the final 2 screws that release the top cover. So if you have them all corroded and you have this flange which keeps the cleaning pad in place, and you need to get under here to take this off, and these are all corroded, screw 2 holes very carefully in approximately these 2 positions. Note how I offset this one hole to not mangle the other factory screw hole. Obviously there's no warranty left on this unit, so that's how you get at the undercarriage. So we've got the battery plugged in, and I am going to put this pad back on because otherwise it complains about that, and we're going to flip this over. So this has already been taken off. The real meat of what I wanted to show you in this video is this wiring harness. So this is the magnetic sensor here near the front of the unit that fails, obviously. There's something wrong with the sensor, it doesn't move in the tank, something's wrong with that. So what we've done is I clipped, there's a couple of different solutions I've read. One is taping a magnet to the side of this, and I didn't particularly want to do that. I wanted a permanent fix. So what I did was I clipped these wires, so we're past fail-safe, they're at the point of no return, and I've got these 4 wires. So I noticed that when the black and the blue, when the black and the yellow, hold on, bear with the crappy video for a second, are connected like this, it thinks that it has a water sensor because it complains about the lid.
Close the lid, then press clean.
Whereas if you undo these 2, and apologies for the horrible camera work, if you take these 2 apart, now it will start complaining about the water.
Fill the tank, then press clean.
The most hated error that I've ever had. So if you put these 2 together, press the clean button.
Fill the tank, then press clean.
Whoops, hold on. This is really not the best camera work, and I understand that.
Fill the tank, then press clean.
Hold on. Okay, so we're back after some fairly bad camera work. So what we're going to show you here is with none of these 4 wires that have been clipped off of that harness connected, it thinks that both the water and the hinge are open.
Fill the tank, then press clean.
The yellow and black wires, when connected together, I'll try and do this with one hand to not make you dizzy. There, yellow and black connected. It's not complaining about the water tank, hopefully.
Close the lid, then press clean.
It's just complaining about the lid. So to unify the lid, we put the black and yellow and purple wires together, and it's happy. There. So it started to move and I canceled it. So to short circuit or circumvent both the hinge and the water tank sensor, you combine and strip and cut off the black, yellow, and purple wires. I'm going to cap the red wire. I don't know what it does, but when I hook it up, it just cripples the unit. It won't do anything. So it took some trial and error, but black, yellow, and purple, tie them all together, stick a piece of electrical tape on them. I'm going to bury them underneath the front here, probably by the speaker. And if it comes undone, then I'll undo it and do it again. You will notice that something horrific has happened with the seal in here, and the inside of my unit is basically completely rusted. I wouldn't say it's rusted out, but there's obviously some kind of a seal that's not there. I'm just going to dry it out, try and get a few more months use out of this unit. I think this is one of the first runs that they had or something, and the insulation and the rubber just didn't hold up. So anyways, I'll run it until it's dead, as long as I don't have to throw it against the wall every time it gives me a tank error 1,500 times every time I try and run it. I think I'm a happy guy. So that's it. Enjoy, and I hope that fixes it for you. I've read other stories about people taping magnets and stuff there. I didn't want to do that. I wanted a permanent fix again. So that's it. Hope you enjoy.